Hey there, do you dream of escaping into a book? Maybe your escape includes a cozy cabin in the mountains or a magical town along the coast. Either way, you're in the right place. Welcome to Literary Escapes with me, Becky. This year on the podcast, we're exploring the United States. So every week I'm going to bring you a new book set in a different state. So let's see where we're going today.
So, welcome back to the Literary Escapes podcast. I am Becky, and we are continuing our trek across the United States in the Read Across the U.S. Book Club. This month, our stop is in Pennsylvania, and we have author Susan Mellon joining us. So, welcome, Susan.
Hi, Becky. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. So, Pennsylvania is not a state that I have spent a whole lot of time in. I remember visiting the Bell when I was quite young. And I think I've been to Pittsburgh once. And that's the extent of my experience with Pennsylvania. So. Okay. So tell me about your experience with Pennsylvania.
Well, I lived here my whole life.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in a small town outside of Pittsburgh.
Nice.
And that's where I'm still at. And
Pittsburgh is on the east, right?
Yes, it's on the east.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And you have to love the seasons to live in Pennsylvania, because we go from winter in the mornings to spring to summer in the afternoon and to fall-like weather in the evening. So
that's crazy.
But I love the seasons. So
that's down here in Florida. We have like one season. Summer.
Hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
So there are days when I feel like it would be so nice to have seasons, and then I remember that winter's a big part of it. So
it is lots of snow, that's for sure, and cold.
Yeah, but I remember seeing football games with the Steelers, and they always looked miserable.
Yeah, they're totally bundled up for that.
Exactly.
This is right down along the river, so you're really cold.
Yeah. So I guess, what is Pennsylvania other than sports? What is Pennsylvania known for?
Well, I know for the Pittsburgh region, their theater, the cultural district. We have 4 theaters down there, and we got the Byam, the Benedum, Heinz Hall, and the Riley Theater. And my husband and I, we love live theater, so we're always going to a show.
Nice.
Pittsburgh also offers, we have the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra.
Nice.
That's always a lot of fun. Yes, we have a lot of things, whether it's winter or summer. During the summer, we have the art festival down in downtown Pittsburgh to get to.
Fun. Okay.
And the Pickle Fest, Picklesburg they call it, and it's everything pickles. So you gotta like pickles.
That is funny. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then in the winter we have People's Gas Holiday Market, and they have people all around the world come up and they sell their arts.
Oh, how fun.
That is a lot of fun.
That's really cool. I know Pittsburgh used to be known as kind of a steel town, industrial, that kind of feel to it. And so I love that it's kind of remaking itself, or has remade itself into an cultural, artsy town. And I that's really awesome. I love that.
Oh, yes. There's several different museums. There's always something to do, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then, you go up north, you have their forest, you got Cook's Forest, you have the Allegheny National Forest for all the hikers. It's just a lot going on.
That's awesome. Sounds like it's kind of, and you've got the waterways in the Pittsburgh area too. You've got the 3 rivers, right? Is that
3 rivers? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
it all comes down to the point, and where we have the Point State Park fountain, and it shoots water up 150 feet into the air.
Holy moly!
Really cool.
That's very cool. I love that. So, do you guys have mountains there too, right?
Yes, a lot of mountains.
Allegheny Mountains, is that right?
Okay. Allegheny Mountains.
Very cool. You guys have it all. Other than not being on the coast, you guys have it all. That's pretty cool.
Everything but a beach, yeah. And with the ocean.
Yeah, you probably have beaches on some of the lakes and such,
Yeah,
but that's awesome.
beaches around the lakes.
Well, very cool. Thank you for sharing Pennsylvania with us. I like that. So
Yeah.
when did you become an author and how?
In 2019, I was a little bit older than some of the other authors that started out. I've always wanted to write.
Yeah.
And since I was a young girl in grammar school reading class, I mean, that was just the most exciting thing to me when we started reading books. And then the teacher would be, well, you could write your own stories. I'm like, really?
Oh, crazy.
How
Yeah.
exciting is that? Yeah. So I'd spend my summers reading and writing as I was growing up.
I love
And
that.
life happens, you move along, dreams get pushed aside.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
The
then
paycheck that's needed.
exactly, raise a family. Now I'm
Yeah.
an empty nester. My son's on his own now.
Nice.
Well, I was starting to maybe experience a little bit of ageism in the workforce. They didn't want to kind of promote you, but they want to kind of let you stay here forever.
Yeah.
And I'd come home frustrated. And my husband's like, well, I think it's time you need to leave that job. And what would you
Wow.
do? What is your dream? I says, well, I've always wanted to write, and I never shared anything with them, but I'd still, tinker around writing. Well, let me think about it. He says, you should take it seriously. So I'm like, okay. And then I don't remember if you remember Luke Perry, the actor.
Yeah.
He had a massive stroke, and we were the same age. We were 52 at the time. And then a few days later, he died from that.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, wake up call here. If I don't go chase my dream now, I was just say we were the same age. When am I going to chase it?
Wow.
And
Yeah, that's pretty. Whew.
Yeah, that was a wake up call. Times get busy, So, and I've never looked back.
That's awesome. My sister and I have had that conversation about so many people put their dreams off until they retire. And then, retirement nowadays, it keeps getting pushed back further and further. And when you retire, are you even going to physically be able to do whatever it is you've waited your whole life to do, And I love that you went for it and just chased it down. So did you kind of know how to write, or how did you figure that piece out?
Piece by piece, like a little jigsaw puzzle. I had no clue other than I wanted to write.
Nice.
And then I just started Googling things, I was Googling where am I going to get an editor? Who's going to format,
Right.
And started finding connections online with everybody.
And you do indie publishing, right? Or self-publishing?
Yes, that's
nice.
what I do.
I like that. Yeah. Because that's a different route than traditionally published, and it's a lot more accessible, and there's a lot more freedom in it, and I love that. So very cool.
Me
so
too.
You started in 2019, and when did you publish your first book?
Well, I published my first book in 2019.
Okay.
I was playing around with it probably the year before in 2018,
Okay.
on and off again on the fence,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so what was your first book?
My first book was called The Locket.
Okay.
And it takes place in Manhattan. And so everybody's liked it. And they
That's
go,
awesome.
wow, it's really good, But when you look at your progress and you look back, I was like, oh, okay.
And how many books do you have out now?
I have out, including some of the earlier books, 16. I have 16 books out.
Wow.
A lot of them are like the earlier ones were about 100-page novellas.
Okay.
Getting my feet wet, just putting the words out and everything. So
making the complete, I've heard that writing shorter stories is even harder than longer stories because you have less space to do everything that you still, that you do in the longer story. So that's probably starting smaller probably made you a better writer, just because you had to be kind of tight with it if you're going to get everything in. So
right.
You probably weren't doing it because of that, but that's probably
I was just
it was probably a side benefit.
Yeah, this is what I did. So okay, what do I do? And now my books are they average about 200 pages. So
Awesome. That's a good,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good size. And I know a lot of romance readers don't mind the shorter books because they plow through a lot of books. So
correct, they do.
yeah, I am
Mhm.
utterly amazed the number of books some people go through. I feel like I go through a lot. I think last year I probably went through, I don't know, maybe 50, and I feel like that's a lot. For
Mhm.
me it is a lot, and there's
Right.
people that go through like 300, and I cannot even fathom that.
That's a lot of books. Yeah.
God bless them, because they're reading the books that we put out there, so that's a really
Right.
good
If it
thing.
wasn't for
So
them, who
that's
would be
right.
reading? Mhm.
That's right. So the book that we have in the book club this week is Tag You're It. And number one, I love the title. I think
Thank
it's
you.
very fun and playful, and the whole series has fun names. The Simon Says and then Jack's, they're all like kids
Yes.
games, which I think
Game
is
related. Mhm.
so fun. So tell us all about Tag You're It. I just finished it this weekend
Oh,
and
okay.
thoroughly
Good.
enjoyed it. So
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Take Your It is about really the whole series is about three brothers and
okay.
they're unlucky in love. And so he ends up meeting this woman on the sidewalk outside this Italian restaurant. And she's pacing back and forth. And he's like, well, what's going on? Do you need help? And she's like, well, it's my grandmother's birthday. And she's always on me about dating and having a boyfriend. He says, when they end up fake dating to go into her dinner, the birthday dinner.
Of course.
And then, she grabs his arm and they're standing behind an array of plants in the restaurant. And he's like, we don't know anything about each other. And they do this quick little speed dating thing, favorite color, favorite drink, meal, and this.
Yeah.
And then Taggy goes, well, where do we meet? We can't say outside on the sidewalk. It's just, they're not going to ask that question. Sure enough, the grandmother asked the question, where'd you meet?
Always the question.
Always that one question, right? And so they just start going on dates. And then slowly, as everything evolves, it turns out that their fake dating maybe isn't as fake as they think it is. They're starting to fall for each other. And the grandmother, Opal, who's big in the book too, she's a lot of the problems. She's like the
She's a
little
conniver.
antagonizer. Yeah. She's a very big conniver. Likes to twist and turn things around for
She
her.
does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and then it was a
It's
lot
a
of fun to write.
it's a fun story, and I really enjoyed the twist toward the end that made everything that kind of upset the apple cart, if you will.
Good. Mm-hmm.
I always love a good twist, and so I enjoyed that one. I wasn't sure if there was going to be one. There was one comment that Tag had made that made me think there had to be one,
Okay.
and
Do you remember the comment?
it was something like he felt bad about something. I can't remember the comment, but it was early on that there was some little clue there that he was hiding something. And I'm like, huh.
Okay.
And so it was fun seeing how that played out. And there was a couple times I thought, oh, okay, that's what it was. And nope. So well
Well,
done.
good. Thank you. Thank you.
I
And okay.
I was just gonna say I enjoy when books keep me guessing and keep me flipping the pages.
That's good. And I like to write lighthearted, easy reading stories, clean, lighthearted.
Yeah.
Like I said, they don't go on for 300-400 pages. They're just a nice length.
Well, and
Nice
that's
and light.
I feel like especially like when you started writing in 2019, 2020, we all know what happened, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Um, people needed something lighter to read. And
That's true.
I felt it. And my mother passed away beginning of 2020, right before the
Sorry to hear
pandemic.
that.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. went through a lot of years of dementia, and it was an amazing blessing that she didn't have to go through it. And I
Right.
miss her, but I am so grateful that her timing is what it was. And
Mm-hmm.
but I needed lighter books during 2020, and
Right.
books that gave me an escape since we couldn't go anywhere, books that took me places. And that's kind of where the book club came from. Is, there's other people I knew out there that wanted to be part of something that, books that give you an escape. And so I
Correct.
appreciate
Yeah.
the books that do that for us and let us escape our lives in, small town wherever, and or big town wherever, and go visit somewhere else
Exactly.
for a little while. I think that's a beautiful thing that authors can do.
We love that you're doing this. You're highlighting every state and bringing books into and that's just wonderful.
It's a lot of fun. I had no idea. It's funny because for the past 3 years, I've had a book club and we visited all around the world. And this year, I thought I need to pare it down a little, make it a little simpler. So instead of going around the world, I'll go all over the United States. I'm not sure why I thought that was
Okay.
easier, but instead of doing 12 authors a year, I'll do 50.
There you go. Yeah, that's not too
Way
bad.
easier.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's been a ton of fun meeting so many new authors and reading so many books I hadn't even heard of before, and visiting all these states that I haven't been to. I've been to a lot of
Mhm.
states, but certainly not
Okay,
all 50 of them. So
that's
it's
the
been a
way to
lot of
do
fun.
that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I was thinking. And that's there are readers that have kept up with every single book and are voracious readers, plowing through a book a week, keeping up with it and cruising around the
Hmm.
country with us. So I think that's a
Wow,
ton
good
of
for
fun.
them.
I know. I
Mhm.
love that. I love that. So what are you working on right now, writing wise?
Right, right now I am working on a series called Incognito Bosses,
I saw that
and
the first one just came out. Is that
the
right?
first one, yes, the first one's been out, and it's called Boring Office Guy, and it takes place in Oakmont, which is not too far from here.
Okay.
And I like to put a little bit of real life things and a little bit fictitious things.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, and so I'm working on that, and I also have a second series that started. First, Incognito Bosses is going to be a 3-book series.
Okay.
And then I have another series. I have the prequel novella that is out. It's called New Liberty. That's the series. But
Okay.
the novella is called Love Among Us.
Nice.
And this town is in Pennsylvania, right on the borders New York, and that is completely fictional.
Nice.
And that's going to be 4 more books to that series once I get back to it. And
Awesome.
there's going to be a map to go along with it,
Ooh, I love a
made of
good map.
town.
I'm
Yeah.
such a nerd sometimes because I love a map. And if a
It's so much fun. You can follow along where the
I
characters are.
know.
Oh,
That's I feel bad for my kids because they don't know how to read a paper map. And it's like, that's such a sad thing because I love maps.
it is. It's a different world for our children.
It truly is. It
Mhm.
truly is. So North Liberty or New Liberty?
New Liberty. That's
Okay.
the
And
series
it's
name. Yes.
near New York. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Right along the border. Mhm.
Very cool. And is
Little
that
mountain
near the
town.
city or is it upper New York? I can't visualize where
Um,
that border is right
it's
now.
probably about 3 hours out of Manhattan, closer to
Okay.
Binghamton,
Okay.
And
Nice.
it's in the mountains, just a nice little
Ooh,
town. It's mountains of
sweet.
Pennsylvania.
There you go. I love it. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And so what are you reading right now?
Right now, I just finished Susan Hatler's book, and excuse me if I pronounced her name wrong. Um, she's doing a do-over series,
Oh,
and
fun.
the first book was hilarious. I've been really enjoying her writing lately, so if you get a chance, look her up.
I definitely will. I just wrote it down because I want to check it out. I always thoroughly enjoy reading new authors. So the Do-Over series by Susan Hattler, I'll check that one out. Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. Very good. So the Incognito series has book 1 out, right?
Yes.
And then there'll be 3 in that series, and then New Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And when is book 1 expected out on that one?
Probably, I don't know.
Is that a this
Next
year
spring,
project, or
maybe.
have you figured it out yet?
If I get to it, it's a this year project because I
Okay.
always like to do a Christmas book as well. So
Oh,
that'll
nice.
be. I'm halfway done with the second book on the Incognito series.
Nice.
Now I'm going to jump on and do my Christmas book, so that's ready. And then I'm going to jump back to the New Liberty series. So
The never-ending
I'm
life.
bouncing around. No, I don't know how I decided to do 2 series at the same time, but it's just the way it worked out.
Somehow you thought it would make life easier, right?
Right.
I think you and I have some similar qualities there. That's funny. Well, awesome. I appreciate that you joined the book club and joined us this week. It's been a lot of fun learning about you and your books and your state. I enjoy that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
It's been fun talking with you.
Thank you.
And following along.
Yeah, it's been a really fun experience doing all of this. So have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the Facebook group.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Becky.
Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to be part of the Read Across the U.S. Book Club, I'd love to have you join us. There is a link in the show notes, so just head down there and click and we will welcome you in. So see you in the book club, I hope. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week with a new episode.